Good evening. The right to wild camp on Dartmoor was back in London and back in court today. A couple who objected to people wild camping on their land have taken their fight to the Supreme Court. Our reporter Ewan Murrie has been at the Supreme Court for us today.
It might look like a party, but this is no celebration. Today is the third and final time that judges are being asked to decide whether the public can camp on Dartmoor without permission.
Quite incredible, really, to be here for the third time. The first time outside this court, and then 2 times before that outside the Royal Courts of Justice, the High Court. It is both remarkable and absurd that we should have to be here to defend our right to sleep under the stars.
The Dartmoor Commons Act allows public access to the moors for what it calls open-air recreation. What the courts will decide is whether that definition does in fact include wild camping, for example by ramblers on multi-day treks.
On the one side, you've got the Darwells, the landowners, who say that such a right doesn't exist, and nor should it, on the basis that they need to control who camps in order to protect the environment and farming. On the other side, the Park Authority says people have been camping there for the past 30 years without issue, and that their right to do so is enshrined in that act.
I feel really strongly about it. You know, people have had the right to camp on Dartmoor for decades, and it is the only place in England where you can pitch a tent, sleep under the stars and leave the next morning. It doesn't cost anything, and for that to be curtailed, I think would be a really dark day.
Alexander Darwell didn't want to be interviewed, but in a statement said no one is suggesting restricting public access to walk or ride in the national park. But the extent of recreational activity is an important issue in order to preserve the open moor for the long term. He added that it was vital that land managers have the power to ask irresponsible and antisocial campers to move. The Dartmoor National Park Authority says it's been consistently clear about its own role in protecting the park and promoting understanding so that people enjoy it responsibly. The judge's verdict is expected within 2 to 4 months.
Whatever the outcome, it will only apply to Dartmoor specifically. However, the case has sparked a much wider debate about access to the countryside across England. Ewan Murrie, BBC Spotlight, Westminster.
What does the South West get out of the multi-billion-pound HS2 railway?